Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Let me tell you something. Shakur Stevenson is looking unbeatable. You know what I'm saying? Looking unstoppable. Man, Shakur is the truth. Got to give him credit. But I'm going to tell you something, man. One of the coaches on my channel hit me up. We were talking, and I was like, you know what, man? We need to talk a little more about Hitchins and Gary Antuanne Russell. Now, they're both fighting this weekend on the Ryan Garcia undercard. Hitchins is facing Duarte. Russell is facing Hiroka. Two very, very interesting fights. I don't know what's going to happen with Hitchins and Duarte because Duarte can fight, but Hitchins can box. He's smooth. He's an amazing fighter. A lot of people are picking Hitchins to win. I'm thinking if he can box and stay long, he wins. But if not, and Duarte gets inside, he's going to make that shit ugly. And it could get ugly real quick. But nonetheless, Hitchins is a bad boy. Gary Antuanne Russell, all them Russell brothers get busy. You know, the father, may he rest in peace, he did a great job with developing his sons. All them boys got busy. But I want to say this. Shakur has proven to be a dog. Gary Antuanne Russell, real boxing fans know he's a dog. Hitchins, real boxing fan knows he's a dog. And you even hear people talking about the sparring and stuff. They say Hitchins is no joke, man. They say Hitchins is really good. But the thing about these fighters is you really got to understand what they did in the amateurs, man. Like with Hitchins, from the amateurs, he had a reputation for being highly technical, sharp jab, great balance, disciplined fighter, known for beating top names, winning ugly if needed, boxing smart, not trying to be flashy. Okay, so Hitchins is one of those guys is by all means necessary, but he's not necessarily trying to get into a mashup, crash up. But if he has to, he will, but he's just trying to, again, not be flashy and get the victory with Gary Antuanne Russell. Again, as an amateur, relentless pressure, strong inside game, very physical, fast hands, known for his volume, body work, and breaking opponents mentally. When you got a guy in there who can throw 70 to 100 punches around from the first round to the last round, makes it hard to beat him, especially when they got speed and angles and defense and they have IQ. It's very effective in what's being done in that ring. Now, there is a Jaron Ennis connection. Both fought Jaron Ennis in the amateurs. So Jaron Ennis is the guy out here who's looking to be the next pound-for-pound king of boxing, the next face of boxing. But they both fought him in the amateurs. That puts them in the same elite class, same generation, same level of pedigree. And these weren't regional guys. They were national-level fighters. Okay? Now, for Shakur Stevenson, these two could be Shakur's kryptonite. They could be. Now, I'm telling you, Shakur's a bad boy. You cannot question Shakur Stevenson. But see, as Hitchins gets more visibility, and people can see what he does, Gary Antuanne Russell gets more visibility, people can see what he does, I think people will start to understand, okay, Shakur's strengths, distance control, defense, timing, IQ. Shakur has shown that he has what it takes to dominate for a long time. Now, what makes Hitchins dangerous for him is Hitchins is patient, long jab, disciplined, doesn't overreach, doesn't rush anything. So it's going to be a thinking man's game inside there. But with that jab and not overreaching and being disciplined, the fight could get interesting. That means Shakur can't just coast in the fight. There's no free rounds. Shakur may actually have to take risks because Hitchins, Haney, and Shakur, they're more reactive. They ain't necessarily trying to initiate nothing. They can, but for the most part, they'd rather you come at them and they just pick you apart. So the fight might actually become chess, not checkers, with Hitchins and Shakur. Now with Gary Russell, he's dangerous for Shakur because of that pressure. That constant pressure, body work, physical forces exchanges. He has more IQ than Zepeda, so him coming forward with a high volume of punches is not going to be Zepeda-esque. Okay? It's going to be Gary Antuanne Russell-esque. And what he does very well. But again, if Gary Antuanne Russell gets in it with Shakur, this means Shakur can't glide. He's going to have to fight inside. He has to hold his ground. So I think the fight becomes that Shakur's survival IQ versus brute discipline against somebody like Gary Antuanne Russell. And for Shakur against Africa, it's more chess, not checkers. Now, we talk about what's coming up this weekend. Again, Hitchins, he's fighting Duarte. That is a must-win fight. He's on the verge of elite status. Like Hitchins is right there. A bad performance stalls momentum, makes Eddie Hearn go crazy. Now, the risk is he's in a fight where he's favored, but he can look very average against Duarte. Duarte is a problem. I'm going to keep saying that. Now, with Gary Antuanne Russell, he must win because he's seen as dangerous, but he's not. Some people still feel he's not proven yet. But I tell you what, he's in a fight where that pressure is going to matter, conditioning matters, patience matters, and he's got to get in there and dominate Hiroka and basically blast him up out the ring. If Hitchins and Russell put on dominating performance, especially if they both get stoppages, I am telling you that they both go to elite status overnight, and they're going to be in the mix for possible opponents for the Shakurs and the Keishans and everyone else, anyone close to 140, 147. I don't know about 154, but maybe even 154. But they got to win and win big. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is what I'm going to be paying attention to when it comes to both of these guys. They can't afford to just get the victory. Like, this is the big stage. They have to dominate. They need statement wins. And they really need this moment, man. They're always, to me, they're both always almost. You know what I'm saying? Always next fight. No, I'm next. You know, this weekend is really about staying in the conversation, but in a big way. Or like Aaron the plumber would say, in a real way. That dude be tripping me out, man. But they got to win because it's going to keep them in the big fights. It's going to force big fights, and it's just going to help them get even more respect. But if either one of them struggles, Russell struggles, Hitchins struggles, they're going to lose their leverage. Fans will probably move on, and promoters are going to hesitate. You look at Shakur, he does nothing but get better and better. Keyshawn Davis getting better and better. Both of these guys have got to win. I mean, they can't, even if they win, they can't just win. They got to dominate. They have to look spectacular if they really want their names attached to like the Shakur Stevensons. Shakur is on a whole nother level right now. And I'm not saying these guys can't get in and compete with them, but they need some kind of performance that will make it worth someone wanting to pay them big money to fight Shakur. Because to be honest with you, you know, Shakur's profile is a lot bigger than these guys. His name is a lot bigger than these guys. But that doesn't mean there's such a big talent gap that these guys can't compete. Now, as far as Shakur and Hitchins, look, early, it could be a tactical battle. Jab, very few risks, crowd could boo. Mid-round, Shakur could look for counters, Hitchins could look to take control. Late rounds, somebody got to close, right? And the judges are going to matter. So the outcome could be low drama, high IQ, razor-thin decision for somebody. Just depends on who lets their hands go, when they let their hands go, if they can be precise, and what the judges like. Now, as far as Shakur and Russell, let me tell you, early, Shakur's going to move. Russell's going to stock him. That's just how it is. Mid-round, Russell's going to push the pace, and Shakur's going to be forced to trade, and he's going to look to pick him apart and create some separation. But at the end of the fight, I think with Gary Antuanne Russell, the way he moves is going to be a physical war. Body shots versus counters. You know, it's going to be the ultimate mashup crashup, but the outcome could be Shakur by control or Russell by pressure. This one has chaos potential, and I'll be honest with you, just from what I know about both these guys, you got to favor Shakur, but I'm just telling you, man, from what I know, I wouldn't put no money on Shakur in that fight. I wouldn't bet at all, because you just don't know what direction the fight would go. You know, Hitchins and Russell can really fight people. But I'm glad to see they get to perform on the big stage and get some light shed on them. Now, as far as the big picture discussion, Hitchins and Russell are elite. They're proven in the amateurs. They're just missing that breakout fight, a signature name. They need that elite name. Shakir's the star, but these two match up better than people think. You know what I'm saying? So the story becomes the guys nobody talks about might be the most dangerous, and that's kind of how it goes. And it's always gone that way, you know what I'm saying? I just think people need to understand with Antuanne Russell and Hitchins, two of the most decorated fighters from their generation with deep amateur pedigrees and shared history against Jaron Ennis. Both of them have upcoming fights this weekend, and they must win to stay in the elite conversation, while neither gets the spotlight like Shakur and Keyshawn and Jaron Ennis. Many believe their style could give Shakur serious-ass problems, and even Haney. And I just think when you look at it, Hitchins brings patience, discipline, technical control. Russell brings pressure, physicality, and volume. I think it's two different styles, two different threats. But both of those guys could bring big problems for one of boxing's biggest stars, Shakur Stevenson. And if you didn't know, well, now you know. Do not miss out on this Ryan Garcia Barrios undercard. I'm telling you, the undercard is stacked. It's ridiculous. If you like boxing, you're going to love this weekend. And then Sunday has boxing too. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.